What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the SHPODCAST, the number one podcast you're listening to, the only podcast you're listening to, unless you're listening to two at the same time, at which point, I'm sorry to tell you, you probably grabbed the wrong headphones on your way out the door. Joined, as always, is my co-host, Andrew. How you doing today, buddy?
Doing good.
Fantastic. As always, if you want to, you can listen to this on audio, on Spotify, and Apple Music. If you want, there's a bonus episode available on the Patreon for $5 a month with every single one of these. There's probably something else I was supposed to tell you. Oh, buy gamer subs, by the way. Buy the gamer subs. Get the gamer subs. You get
that shit.
It keeps the show running in addition to the patrons. Literally nothing to talk about this week, by the way, Andrew. Nothing happened.
I've only got one thing. That's about it.
Nobody died. Nobody shot. What do you have?
Chud the Builder.
Oh, right. Listen, do you got any information on that? Because I know nothing about this situation.
So
headline news. Some guy shoots
I don't even
somebody.
Want to talk about him too much because I just don't want to give him any more time in the sun. But basically, he went around live streaming with mace and a gun, open carry. And he would go up to people talking about freedom of speech and then call them a racial slur. And then if they even slightly mad, would ask them if they were about to, quote, chimp out.
So this is the dude who started to go viral on the front pages of live stream fails and what have you for being a white guy who's just openly saying the N-word on his live streams.
Yeah.
Feeling safe because he has a clearly visible firearm on the side of his head.
And which live streaming service was that?
I would imagine it would be Kick.com.
Kick!
And people wonder why we don't stream there.
Yeah. So I talked about this with Doplex and the gang on Beef the other week. And at the time, he was still just out and about. We all obviously wished the worst for him. But almost immediately after recording, the headline went out that I guess someone did attack him, and he pulled his gun and ended up shooting the guy and himself. I don't know how he managed to shoot himself in the scuffle. Just seems like he must just be not working with a single sharp tool up there. Honestly impressive to shoot yourself in that situation.
It's kind of the first thing they teach you in gun safety is make sure it's not pointed at you.
Yeah. And
there is no second step after that. That's pretty much all there is to gun safety is don't shoot yourself.
Don't shoot yourself or others. That's the next one. Actually, that's probably the first one is don't shoot yourself.
Probably the first
don't shoot others. Second one is don't shoot yourself. So he really just immediately ignored the first one and then somehow slipped in the second violation just kind of for fun. But so I saw that and was at the time no one was sure if the guy was stable. And I was like, Jesus Christ, please tell me this guy doesn't pass away. That would make me sick if this fucking dipshit ended someone's life over this.
Yeah.
The guy is okay. He's got a fundraiser going on for his medical bills and stuff. And Chud the Builder, I think there's video of it somewhere, has been charged with attempted murder, and his bond is set at like $1.25 million. So humongous win all around for just good vibes. Chud the Builder, I'm sure the guys in prison are going to hear about what he was up to, and he's going to give them a good old time. I hope he does. I hope he does for many years.
It is to people who don't understand the American court system, attempted murder is a very difficult thing to bring up in court comparatively. Typically, you will see people chase charges of involuntary manslaughter or bodily harm because those sorts of charges, despite not holding as long of a sentence, right? You don't want somebody killing somebody and then going to jail for like 2 years plus probation, right? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But the difference between manslaughter and murder is intent, and that becomes a difficult thing to prove in court. If you kill somebody, the only proof you need is that that person is dead, right? And then you can be charged with manslaughter, which is the involuntary or voluntary loss of life, right?
Yeah.
But to be able to escalate it to murder / attempted murder in this case, because thankfully this person that was shot did not pass away. The difference between murder is being able to prove that this loss of life or this attempted loss of life was due to preventable actions by the person, right? So if you throw a rock over the side of a highway and it kills somebody, it's hard to prove in court that that is murder, even if it did kill somebody, because the courts would have to be able to try to definitively prove that you were trying to kill somebody with that rock.
You set out with the intent to kill someone with the rock.
That was your goal, and it's comparatively much easier for a jury to be able to argue that the person throwing the rock had no intention of killing somebody, or did not, truthfully believe that there was a high chance of him killing somebody, right? And so instead of trying to go for attempted murder, charge them with it, probably end up failing, because in order to get charged with something, you have to have like a reasonable doubt that nothing else could have happened, that there 100 out of 100 people would understand that this is probably what that person was trying to do. Yeah. And if there's any lack of conviction there, if there's any 1 or 2 people, right, there's only 12 people on a jury, if any of those guys decide, I'm not 100% sure if he was trying to kill the guy, right, then that gets dropped completely and the person wins the case. They do not get charged with attempted murder and they get nothing, right? So instead of going for that, what they will typically end up doing is go for a lesser charge like manslaughter, which does not have that incredibly high bar of we have to prove you wanted to kill the guy, in an effort to try to get something to stick, so that this person who killed somebody else doesn't end up walking away with no punishment. Instead, they walk away with as much as they can get to stick. The fact that they are immediately chasing attempted murder on this charge means that the people who are prosecuting Chud the Builder, great name by the way, feel like they probably have a good case to be able to prove that this guy was trying to kill the individual that he fired a weapon at. And I would argue they've got a pretty good case because this guy was stupid enough of streaming himself as a job of antagonizing random people in public, brandishing brandishing means you pulled your gun out, right? But clearly showcasing open carrying a weapon on his hip at all times. It is not going to be difficult at all, I believe, for a jury to be able to prove that this individual that he shot was somebody that he was trying to shoot and kill, given that he's basically just been goading anybody and everybody to try to get in his face enough to inevitably be able to use this weapon that he carries at all time. And they're going to have hundreds of hours of video proof to argue that exact fact.
Got a lot of kick streams of him inciting violence and then immediately macing people. So it's like, you have a track record of inciting something and immediately going to the mace. And then this one, the most recent one that happened, which this is also an update that I can't 100% confirm. I read it in one of the articles I was reading today. Between the stream footage and surveillance camera footage of the area, he pulled the gun before the dude attacked him.
Oh, I read that too.
So, history of inciting and spraying people and then immediately going for the gun, he's toast.
Yeah, they're going to have to...
I can almost guarantee you they're going to get him on attempted murder. He's going to prison. He's going to get piped out for a long time.
There's a little bit of an update to a situation that I covered on a video a little while ago about Raja Jackson, who's the son of Rampage Jackson.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about that.
This is the kick streamer who went to and got into an altercation with an amateur professional wrestler and then was invited into the ring, sort of goaded on by a number of the other amateur professional wrestlers as like, hey, no, I know you're mad because he like smashed a beer can on your head, but like we're all professionals here. We're trying to work up when we see a camera. You know how it is. We're trying to do the WWE thing. If you're mad about it, you're going to get in the ring today. Give him a power bomb. Get your revenge or whatever. And he put this guy in a coma. Right?
Yep.
Like 30 unanswered shots to the head. It was crazy. And Roger's like a professional fighter, not a wrestler. His dad's Rampage Jackson.
Like his dad is the Rampage Jackson. He's a trained killer genetics in there.
He's a trained mixed martial artist. So he after being brought in by police, I believe got off on like an assault charge, not obviously not manslaughter, because Sicko Stu did not pass away, but he did suffer traumatic brain injuries and like has missing teeth and like a broken jaw, cheekbone.
Sicko Stu.
Sorry. Sicko Steve's like a SpongeBob character, right?
I don't know. I thought you said Sicko Stu. It might be Sicko Steve.
It might be Sicko Stu. It might be Sicko Stu. That was the name of the retired Air Force military guy that was acting as an amateur wrestler.
I forgot he was retired.
Even though that was an entire thing
Jesus Christ,
completely videotaped, every aspect of it. There's no concern about if any of this is a he said, she said. Everything from Roger Jackson's kick stream, from the initial altercation to him walking up to this, to walking up to that, to getting goaded on by his chat, from jumping into the ring, everything was videotaped. First person information and all that. And despite that, the jury or the prosecutors did not pursue attempted murder, attempted manslaughter. It was just straightforward assault and battery. I think he's not even seeing jail time, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, let me see. Sentence.
Did Sicko Steve or Stu not press charges? Was he that
he did
has
not
to be?
It is Sicko Stu, and he did not press charges. Right. Keep in mind the kid who did the thing's dad is a multi-millionaire celebrity. Right.
Yeah.
Mainstream and on Kick. He took a plea deal. Jackson pleaded no contest for a felony count of battery. His sentencing date is June 22nd. The anticipated sentence is 90 days of county jail. So he is seeing jail time, I guess.
3 months.
And $81,000 in restitution and 2 years of formal probation. That's actually kind of a big deal for Roger Jackson, who is a fucking psycho, because 2 years of probation might as well be life in jail. That might as well be life in jail.
Yeah, he's gonna have a hard time. Yeah,
he is not making it. He is not making it 2 years without another situation that is going to put him in front of the courts. It is just not possible. To be completely fair, I don't blame him completely, because, listen, I don't want Rampage Jackson to kick my ass, but he's a shit dad.
Yeah,
specifically to Roger Jackson, right?
Yeah.
And to be fair to Rampage Jackson, he had a shit dad, right?
By
his own accounts.
I'm going to be honest, man, not to generalize or anything, but if you end up in the MMA,
CTE doesn't make for great parents.
Fighters don't make for great parents.
That's just how it is.
Your whole entire being is geared towards violence and getting your shit kicked in. So, like, you don't have maternal instincts or paternal instincts.
That is the reason that Joe Rogan is as famous on his podcast as he is now, is despite being an absolute monkey-brained individual, people think he's like a thought leader because he's made such good points in conversations with dipshit comedians and dipshit MMA fighters. And it's like, yeah, he's going to look real fucking smart when interviewing those guys.
Smart, yeah, when he's interviewing CTE Town.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't even know if this section's going to make it in, because we're going to have nothing but video games after this, because nothing else happened. Did you watch the Jynxzi Tournament?
No.
No, and you don't even know what that is, and you don't play League of Legends, so that's not a good topic to cover.
I know Jynxzi. I know the name. I obviously know what League is, but...
So League of Legends is... I'm going to get fucking fetish drawn if I sit like that. League of Legends has had an issue with viewership in America and in the EU. It's doing just fine in Korea because they got Faker and they got a lot of money pumping into the professional scene. But when it comes to big video games, multiplayer video games, a big heartbeat, the driving force behind conversation in these video games is the professional scene, is the competitive scene, is people playing this game at its absolute apex in a competitive environment with a competitive team, big sponsorship money sponsoring jerseys and venues and training camps and what have you, and the game itself setting up a platform for them to be able to perform at these incredibly high professional calibers in a way that casuals like us, normal gamers, will want to watch it. Like a football game, like a baseball game, the entire sport is driven by watching the professionals play it really well to get the kids who play it kind of shitty into the sport and try to become, like their heroes, very good, like Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth, MMA fighters, what have you. That's what they're trying to do with Counter-Strike, with Rainbow Six, with League of Legends. Now, in Korea, League of Legends is doing just fine because when they have the international tournament a couple times a year, Korea always whoops everybody's ass, and it's not even close. And so when it's a conversation between Faker's team and Chovi's team and, Hanwha Life Esports and DRX and all these big names that they're all Korean. And Koreans love the game. Koreans have a society around being good at video games. Whenever people travel internationally, they say the hardest competition they have when they play League of Legends is when they're living in Korea and playing against Korean players. Korean pros do the best. It makes sense that their viewership is up. In the EU, in Europe, EU West, the teams are not as good. And it becomes a little bit more difficult to watch the teams when you're kind of watching the second best. It's like watching the WNBA or college football, except even college football has some respect to it. It's like
college football arguably has more money than the NFL.
Yeah, it's like, maybe a bad example, but it's like it's watching a step down. But it's like it's not just watching college football. It's not just watching college football or watching the WNBA. It's not just that it's a step down in competition. It's not. Just because you're watching a European team, these guys have to play against the Koreans in the internationals. So it's like watching the WNBA and trying to get excited about it, knowing that when March Madness comes around, they're going to have to play against the actual NBA. It's like watching college football and then realizing, hey, when the season starts, they're going to have to play against the actual Patriots, the actual Cowboys and the Steelers and the real teams. And it's like,
yeah, we got the JMU Dukes going up against the Steelers next week. It's going to be a good game.
It's like, how excited can you be for this B team? How much can you claim this to be your representation? How excited can you get when they're just going to get their ass kicked when international?
It's like watching the MLS.
And is that small baseball?
That's the American Soccer League.
Yeah, exactly that. It's like, that's what it's like in Europe. And then Europe is second seed to Korea. Imagine what watching American League is like, because America's second to Europe.
It's probably busted.
But it's not even like, well, just watch the best teams. It's like the whole competition is around internationals. And like, it's hard to get excited about American League of Legends when they're just going to get their asses kicked by the Koreans. Even if they do well, it's like, guys, it's only until internationals comes around. So there's this whole annoying thing about League of Legends where it's like you can only really get excited about the Koreans, and I can't stay up until 4 a.m. to watch their matches every day. It's a very tough thing to try to keep up. Riot, the game who makes the game designers who make League of Legends and funds a lot of these professional tournaments and everything, has also had a difficult time trying to get more people into the game, trying to get more people to watch. Viewership has been down overall in quite a capacity. Recently, in Europe's professional league scene is called the LCS, the League Championship Series, if I'm not mistaken. They have a streamer by the name of the Baus FFS. He's a bit of a meme player.
Baus?
Do you know Baus?
No, I just like the name.
He's one of the biggest League of Legends streamers. He has a very unique play style of dying a lot that doesn't give a great insight into his entire character arc, but he's very much hallmarked by the fact that he dies quite a bit. And despite this, he is typically ahead of his opponent in League of Legends. Typically, when you're playing League of Legends and you're at the small scale of things, dying is very bad. You get taken off the map for 10, 20, 50 seconds later in the game. You're costing your team the game. You're losing resources, you're losing gold. You're not getting stronger if you're dead. But Baus does this thing where he'll dive behind enemy lines to collect the resources that you typically have to wait until they come to your side of the map. And so he does that, applies pressure to the enemy side, and when he dies, he ends up back on his side of the map well before missing anything because he got it already. So instead of the typical situation where you die and lose resources, he's dying and ending up ahead of his opponent because his opponent's got to sit in lane with nobody to try to fight and kill to get resources. He's always ahead. Now, people ultimately think this is a cheese strategy, right? A cheese strategy is a strategy that is alternate to the way that you're supposed to play the game and really only works because you're tricking your opponent by doing something they're not expecting. Cheesing.
Right.
Comes from a old player by the name of Cheese, actually. That's not a joke. That's real.
Shout out
Cheesing
Cheese.
somebody. So people thought this wouldn't work. You might be the top ranked player in Europe right now, and he was, right? In the solo queue ladder. Solo queue is non-professional play. It's what you play when you play ranked in the multiplayer client.
Gotcha.
No professional game. It's just I'm playing the game, I'm getting a rank. He was incredibly well ranked in Europe, and the conversation became, well, you're never going to get rank 1 doing this shit. The only reason you're winning is because your enemies are bad or they don't know how to play against you. Over time, this isn't going to work. And then he got rank 1, and it was like, oh my god, this guy might be doing it. But in League of Legends,
He's
there's
the
a
chosen
meme.
one.
Nothing counts unless you go to Korea. Rank 1 in America, you're a middling player in Korea at best. That their worst players would wipe the floor with you. And that's true for a lot of people. So what does Baus do at age 19 as a big streamer? He goes, fuck it, I'm going to do what all the big League of Legends streamers do. I'm going to Korea for 2 months. I'm going to Korea for 2 months. I'm going to buy a Korean League account. I'm going to level it up to level 30 till I can start playing ranked, and I'm going to start whooping people's asses. What do you think happened, Andrew?
Oh, man, it's a real 50-50 shot here.
He started whooping people's asses.
He started whooping people's asses? The boy did it?
He started getting into games with Korean pro players and running them into the fucking dirt.
Let's fucking go that's one for America, baby.
He had a few thousand people watching him at this point. He wasn't the biggest league streamer at this point because most of the big league streamers are either ex-professional players or Tyler 1, right?
Yeah.
They have gigantic fan bases. But this dude was ending up in games against, like, Doran. Like, he was up against professional players for the top teams just playing casually and streaming, not with their 5-stack of real players. And just putting them in the fucking dirt, even with them knowing, hey, this is they call them American spies. This is American spy coming to Korea to try to prove that we're bad. I'm gonna play extra good to show them what Korea is really like. Couldn't handle it. Didn't know where he was.
Got they shit handed to him.
Wasn't expecting the damage. So much so that a string of events happened. One of the biggest ones is one of the professional players was picking his champion, Sion, in a professional game. Or not in a professional game, in his live stream. And when he was going to set up his character stats, he was like, what does Baus do? Let me look up what Baus does. Pulls up Baus's information and runs exactly what Baus does. This professional player needed guidance on how to play this champion and referred to Baus's games and went, this is the expert on this champion. This is who I should be looking for. Let me copy how he sets up his rune pages and shit so that I can play this game properly.
Baus Sensei.
That clip got sent to Baus. And remember, at this point, he is still not 50-50 because he'd be a bad player if so, but a lot of his games, he just goes 0 kills, 19 deaths, and solo loses. Like, they lost because he sucks. But there's some games he goes 0 kills, 15 deaths, and he is the fucking raid boss. He is unkillable because of how far ahead he is. Very coin and flippy, right? So Baus had this legendary streak of all of this happening. Does it in EU, does it in Korea. The bar keeps getting lifted. Baus, this isn't going to work when you get to high elo. And then he starts to get to challenger. Baus, this isn't going to work when you get to rank 1 in Europe. And then he gets to rank 1 in Europe. Baus, this isn't going to work against Koreans. This is only working in Europe because Europe sucks. It would never work in Korea. Goes to Korea, he gets like rank 10. Not rank 1, but like in 3 months.
Up there.
He got to rank 10. He's ahead of everybody in just 3 months in Korea. That's crazy, right? What's next? How much higher can we raise the bar? Well, the only thing left at this point is to go, okay, fine. Maybe your playstyle, which again, nobody really respects because you die so much and it feels so inconsistent, despite you specifically being the only one who can make it work. It wouldn't work in pro play, okay? In a real professional match against real professional players, it wouldn't fucking work, okay? And you're not just going to be a good streamer who can play 1 or 2 champions and get thrown into a professional team lineup. Like, they don't need you to be able to play 1 character the best. They need you to be able to play 30 characters better than most people to be able to fit into the team composition that they want, What good is 1 hero? Now, what ends up happening is Riot, again being the game company that makes League of Legends, sees the audience around Boss. This guy's got 20,000 people watching, just playing the game. No, I'm not in Korea. I'm not doing a challenge. I'm not collaborating. This is my Thursday stream.
Just regular, yeah.
20,000 people watch. He's one of the biggest streamers on the platform, right? just playing the same shit over and over again. Riot notices, and Riot thinks, our viewership is diminishing in our video games, specifically in Europe, because everybody's watching Korea. Baus is a Swedish streamer. He's in Europe. If there was a world where this guy wanted to play competitively, and we could make that happen, I mean, our professional streams only get 10,000 viewers when we're doing Europe-only ones. Yeah. This could be good for the company. There's a few other characters in this that end up on a team with Baus. One of them is their lead coach, Kadril, who used to be a professional player and is now the biggest co-streamer. Co-streaming is when you stream a professional game
Gotcha.
with authority from the company doing it. If you wanted to stream yourself watching professional Counter-Strike, you would not be allowed to. They would take your stream down. You don't have broadcasting rights. But OniPixel can, because he has a partnership with them. He is a co-streamer.
Gotcha.
He is allowed to co-stream their thing because they know that he is going to either be professional or, in the case of Kadril and OniPixel to some degree, they have such a big audience that it would be stupid for them not to let them co-stream.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what Kadril is. There is a huge amount of conversation. This is a complete side. There's a huge amount of conversation around whether or not co-streamers are the reason that games like League of Legends are seeing a decline in professional viewership. When Kadril streams Worlds or like professional League of Legends, there will be like 80,000 people watching Kadril and like 20,000 people watching the official broadcast.
Gotcha.
It's hard to look at those numbers and not be like, well, if Kadril wasn't fucking streaming it, wouldn't those guys be watching the professional game? And it's like, there's a much bigger balance there. There's a whole lot of jokes and memes about it. But the reality is, Kadril as a co-streamer adds a lot that the official broadcast doesn't. He has more insight. He plays jokes. He can make memes that the official broadcast can't because they have to be professional about it. He's playing video games in between the wait times. It's a better experience for a lot of the viewers and not something that could be reproduced by the official broadcast. My opinion, again, this is a very divisive topic depending on who you talk to, right? The biggest name in League of Legends that is just watching professional play Kadril is their head coach and the primary face of this team that gets put together. Their mid laner is a character by the name of Nemesis. He is basically the same story as Baus. He is incredibly good, but he doesn't play pro. Typically, this is because of personality differences. Not only do you have to be good, you also have to get along with a team sort of thing, so a lot of that can be divisive. They end up with a 5-stack of people who can play under this team by the name of Los Ratones, the Rats.
The Rats.
Which is what Kadril calls his community, so it was very fitting, right? So you've got this gigantic streamer that is coaching and sort of running the social media and the promotion of these players. You have the Baus in the top lane, somebody who everybody is still doubting will actually be any good in a professional setting despite being a monster in a not professional setting. Their mid laner, Nemesis, is effectively the same story, right? Incredibly good. Nobody is arguing that he is the best player on the team. Just due to some contracts or money or whatever, he doesn't end up playing pro. He is instead just a streamer. A lot of streamers make more money than they do as pro players. It's just a decision people make, right?
Yeah.
Their AD carry, Crowny, basically the same story. Incredibly good, never really played very well professionally or never really had a lot of professional success. Their support, Reckless, went to Worlds, has played on the international stage against some of the best players. How the fuck did they even get this much talent on one team? And the 5th player, Velia, little bit of a wild card, ended up being a fan favorite because everybody loves the big muscly dude doing his best to keep up with everybody else. A 5-star team of ragtag people with absolutely no synergy that have barely ever played games together come together to create Los Ratones, a streaming team that they are doing basically just to have some fun. Hey, if I could, Kadril says to his team, the big streamer, put us in a professional setting where we can play professional games against some professional people. You guys don't need to play individual where you have to carry 4 idiots to prove that you're the best. You can play with 5 real players. You guys are all streamers, and the difference between us and other pro players is that we're going to stream everything. Every practice, every scrim, every pregame, every real game. You'll be able to see the heartbreak. You'll be able to see the work. You'll be able to see everything. Professional teams are not allowed to stream their practices, and they're not allowed to stream their scrims. The only time you get them see them play is for the big games.
Gotcha.
Right? So this is a relatively cool idea. You're taking 50,000, 100,000 people worth of fans, sticking them together on one team that they can all rally behind, And they're in a relatively professional setting. They're in the EMEA Masters, which is a category step down from professional play in Europe. So this is the NFL. They're playing college football. But they get an official team roster, which would normally cost them like $50,000 just to be able to have a franchise spot. Riot says, we want you in here. We want you guys in here. If you're going to take the time to make together a team with this many people watching, we want you to play in EMEA Masters. And they go and play EMEA Masters. They go against academy teams, which are basically big teams will sponsor a smaller team to try to grow talent in case they want to replace one of their characters one day.
Oh, yeah. They have similar things in like FIFA. With like youth versions of Arsenal or
youth. Yeah.
It's basically ways to scout.
Yeah, it's scouting teams, and then it's also professional teams that have like a substitute. The substitute will play in that team to make some money and keep the team quality high. What do you think happens? They're up against country teams in EMEA Masters, so most of these teams are the team representing France, Spain, England, that sort of thing. Los Ratones is Sweden, England, a couple of other things. They're a mishmash, but they're kind of considered like the UK team. That's sort of their identity. But they're a streaming team. They're a bunch of memers that are doing challenges in order to get subscriptions and people to follow their live streams. Half of these guys aren't even allowed to play professional play because their personalities conflict too much. Baus has never even played professionally. Only 3 of the players ever have. And they've had middling success other than Nemesis, who, again, is a monster. What do you think happens when they play EMEA?
I'm keeping on board. They absolutely tear it up.
They win EMEA Masters first split in the summer.
Let's fucking go.
Now, it's not that they never lose a game. They're not hops and leaps, jumps and bounds. They're not miles ahead of the competition by any means. If anything, what it proves is that they're about equal with sub-pro play, right?
Yeah.
They're clearly a step below the pro players if they're struggling here. They drop some games, they win some games, but their first time playing through, I think they lose 0 best of 3s. They never lose a single set. They have only lost a match here or there, which is great. And not only do you get to watch them play professionally, but all 5 of them are streaming. So you can jump from one player's point of view to another player's point of view. If somebody's about to die in a team fight, you can click on their stream and then watch it from their perspective. It's such a unique introduction of all of these things. And the fact that they end up winning is great. And the EMEA Masters that has Los Ratones in it, again, this is the college football, gets more people watching their final few games than the actual LCS, the actual football. This is like college games getting more people watching than the NFL. And again, I don't know if college football does get more people watching than the NFL, but this is like specifically a college football. Does college football have a Super Bowl? What do they call it?
It's just the national championship.
This would be like if the national championship had 3 times as many viewers as the Super Bowl.
Okay, yeah, no. So the average college football is like 1 point something to 2 million per game. The average NFL regular season game is like 18 million people.
Yeah, so that would be a crazy jump.
Just to put into perspective, I'll just put in professional soccer.
Keep in mind, American football doesn't have an international stage, so this metaphor falls apart a little bit because League of Legends has an international stage, but, work with us here.
The World, for example, so for the World Cup, and not like the World Cup game, but like just the games, there's a bajillion games that lead up to the World Cup. It's like 175 million per game.
Jesus Christ.
570 million for the final, approximately, with over 1.4 billion people watching it, at least a portion of the match globally.
We got to get into soccer, Andrew. That's how we're going to get viewership.
I've been in soccer, dude. That was my... Is that... What did I do? Is that and swimming.
Oh,
and
hell yeah.
I also did basketball and tennis, but...
Andrew Speedo pictures available on the Patreon now.
Oh, yeah. No, luckily I never had the full Speedo moment, but they did have the swimming trunk versions where they're just like skin tight, but I wasn't Speedo in it, luckily.
Yeah. There's no way in high school they would have you wearing Speedos, right? That's competitively. Do they even wear Speedos?
I think you were allowed to if you wanted to, but the one I did, it was like rec. It was rec swim, so it was just like the towns around my area had swimming stuff. So
right,
I didn't do it for my school or nothing.
Ah, okay. So the boys win EMEA Masters. Again, It's not professional play, but it's a professional setting, and they're up against some teams that do have some previously big name professional players that, sort of fell off in their skill and now play down there. These are some real players, and they did good. They did really good. They had some big holes in their game, though.
Real players.
They had some big holes in their game. The games that they lost because Boss was dying and inting his head off, right? Inting in League of Legends is intentionally feeding, and feeding is when you die to your opponent so much that they have a big advantage because they've gotten so much gold and experience from killing you, right? So if you say you're feeding, it's because you're feeding the enemy team. And intentionally is never actually intentionally in a professional scene, but it's like he died too much, and that led to the losses that they had or the difficult games that they had. On top of this, they had a lot of internal conflicts. They had a lot of yelling and screaming, a lot of crying. People were getting mad at each other in ways that seemed unprofessional and unbefitting of a team that could ever make it very professionally set. And a lot of that was because they're not professional players. But a lot of that was also because they were streaming everything that the professional teams weren't, because they were allowed to stream their scrims. They were allowed to stream their practices. They got most of their viewership from showing people the ugly behind the scenes of what it takes to become a professional team, right?
Yeah.
Now these boys would continue to stream individually and play League of Legends on their own time. And then when scrim time came around, practice games came around, they would stream the practice games together, work on things, gave a big morale boost to everybody. Nemesis, again, somebody who everybody considers to be one of the best mid laners in Europe, but for some reason doesn't play professionally, we now get to test that theory. Baus, who everybody is saying is only good outside of a professional setting, we now get to test that theory. Reckless, who has never made it, to win worlds, is like, they've got all this talent, all this potential. EMEA Masters comes around again. This time it's the spring split, or maybe the summer split, the second time. Second time they go around, they do the exact same thing. Whooping competition, dropping games here and there, but not really dropping any sets. They win it a second time. 2-time EMEA Masters. And now, people are considering... Los Ratones. Unironically, Andrew, I was going to buy one of their shirts. It was a passionate endeavor.
It was a big thing.
Every other team is like, I guess I like Cloud9, but like, how much connection do I have to a pro team? I just like them because they're good. It's not like football where they represent a state that maybe you're from or your dad was a big fan of it. This is an incredibly new thing. But Los Ratones? I've been watching Baus for fucking 8 years. And now I get to buy a jersey with his name on it? What are you saying? And this is true for 10, 20, 50,000 people. Cadrill's fans, Baus's fans, Nemesis's fans. 5 streaming communities that all had people watching them now get to come to there's nothing like it. There was nothing like it. The fan power behind it, there was nothing like it. It was incredible. It was also unbelievably toxic because when you stick together 5 different members, this would be like if Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Pusha T, Jay-Z, and Kanye West came together to make a boy band. This is what this is like.
That'd be awesome.
It would be like, would they have the biggest fan base ever? Sure. Would all of their fan base get along with each other and agree that they make a good team? No. And it was exactly as decisive. People were shitting on Cadrill, their coach, for the decisions he made in drafting, picking the champions they would play.
And how much he picked on Donkey Kong.
They would get mad at Baus for dying too much. They would get mad at Nemesis for being the only one doing something. They would get mad at Reckless for never dying and being like, if you have 0 deaths, then you weren't in enough fights. They would get mad. All of these things. There was so much internal conflict with all of this. But the big conversation was, we should at least see if they can handle the big boys, right?
Yeah.
How cool would it be if they... So this conversation comes up a lot. We got to see them on the big stage. The boys deserve to be on the big stage. They won the EMEA Masters twice. They're clearly too good for the college football level. Bring them up to the NFL. Let us see it. And so they have some conversations. And what they come back with is the issue is money. The way that Riot works is that they have to have a guaranteed number of events that these professional teams play in. they can't be spending this money, giving these professional players a professional salary, if they can't expect some turn back on it. And so, in order to buy a team in the LCS, in order to be able to pay the money, in order to be able to have a professional team, a spot, to be able to say, hey, we want the SHPODCAST esports team for League of Legends. And we want them at a level where they're going to play up against the other pro teams. How much do you think that spot costs? This is not what does it cost to run a pro team. They're already doing that. This is what does it cost to buy a ticket to let that pro team play against the big boys.
Okay, so you're dealing with teams. Well, let me ask this: is it one ticket for the team, or is it a ticket per member?
It is one amount of money that you pay for your company to be able to buy in and become one of the teams that plays against the other 8 teams regularly through a season, and then get picked by Riot to move up to internationals and play against like Faker.
$215K.
$20 million.
Oh my fucking god! Are you serious? I didn't want to guess 1.2 mil because I thought that was going to be an egregious guess, and I was going to ruin the game.
If you want to buy a spot to be able to play against the top professional teams, and remember, in doing this, you'll be promoted. You'll be advertised. You'll have the opportunity to play on the biggest stage in the world. International Worlds, we just call it Worlds, in the League of Legends space, has like... Let me just pull it up. Worlds...
Pull up them numbers.
League 2025 viewership. Now, this is streamed on the League of Legends website. This is streamed on YouTube. This is streamed on Twitch. Only Cadril and a couple other that stream in different languages are allowed to co-stream this. So maybe 5 streamers tops co-streaming it. All those guys together averages how much viewership do you think for the grand finale of League of Legends in 2025?
107K.
What? We just talked about how iShowSpeed had 300K. This is the biggest event of the year.
Well, I thought it was just from the 5 guys.
Not from the 5 guys. Also the official broadcasts.
Okay.
Broadcasts. And for the record, Cadril alone would do 300,000. Cadril alone would do 300,000 for Worlds.
I guess I was just doing Baus's numbers, thinking like 20K per.
No, this is probably... People always argue with me and tell me it's actually Dota. I don't think it is. But this is the biggest gaming event of the year. To my knowledge. I refuse to admit that it's Dota. Shut up. Give me a real guess.
A real guess. Okay, so probably like 2.3 milli.
Excluding Chinese platforms, because China does have a League of Legends team, but we don't know what they stream on, right?
Gotcha.
YouTube, Twitch, and the official broadcast, they also stream on like the League website. I don't know how many people watch that. 6.7 million concurrent for just the grand final. The final 5 games. Right? So if you spend that 10-20 million, you are guaranteed probably 50 games against the biggest teams in that region. Right? Because they do 3 events a year or whatever. The mid-seasonal invitation, the locals to get up to the grands, to get up to internationals, right? It's a lot of stuff that they have to work your team into. And then if you win enough to be able to go international, it's a lot more stuff they have to be able to work into, right? That's why it costs $20 million for a spot. But even for a big league streamer, and Cadril's a big boy streamer, right?
Big fella.
Big boy streamer. It is not funny what kind of money he makes from streaming League of Legends. $20 million. And keep in mind, you have a team of 5 streamers. These are guys who are there playing professionally, but they're really giving up money to do this because they'd rather be streaming for the 5 hours they have to be playing these games. It's better content. This was a tough ask. Nobody's pulling $20 million out of their ass. It doesn't look like
to get paid less.
It doesn't look like there's a realistic way for the boys to be able to play up against the pro guys. That's a crazy amount of money. But maybe if they do good, right? Maybe if they do good, Andrew, maybe I don't know. I mean, Riot already put them in EMEA Masters, and they weren't even a real team before doing this, and they just gave them a ticket to do that. There's another EMEA Masters coming up, the third one. And if the boys play in this and they do good, then maybe they'll let them play against the big boys. Who knows? Right?
Yeah,
it's possible.
If they secure the Triple Crown, I feel like someone should be like, all right.
They play
right, just for the community, we'll let them get in there.
Now, for the record, if I have this timeline screwed up, I apologize. I didn't even know this is what we'd be talking about. I just forgot how interesting I found this. I wanted to tell Andrew about it.
Sumito if it's wrong.
What do you think happens the third time that they play? They've
Has
won
this
it
already
twice.
happened, or is this going to happen?
This has already happened.
Oh. Fuck
The
it.
third time
we're
that
going
they
three,
play.
3 in a row. Big wins all around.
They lose.
Damn. That fucking sucks.
They lose.
They're not going to the big boys.
They did it twice. It was never really guaranteed they were going to go to the big boys. It was a lot of copium. We wanted it. The fans wanted it. We want to see them play the big boys. They're clearly too good for these guys. Let them move up. And then they lose. And it's like, fuck, we don't really have that argument anymore.
Dreams crushed.
So it looks like they're disbanding. Because, I mean, if they're not going to be able to play with the
we're
pro
losing
board,
Los Ratones completely.
what are they going to keep doing? They're going to keep playing at this middling endeavor that they've not even proven that, there's barely any grand prize money. I mean,
Yeah. Well, but, like, can't they still just keep streaming? I guess if none of them really fuck with each other, then fuck
they'll
it.
continue streaming, but there isn't any situation in which they're going to be able to continue to the pro teams. And the huge thing with this is that it doesn't look like Baus wants to keep playing on the team. He doesn't want to keep taking 25 hours of stream time a week to playing these practice games that ultimately aren't going to end up making him a pro player. Because the only reason he was doing this was to get us to shut up for telling him he'll never be good enough to be able to play against the pro players. So what is this all working up against, right? Something happens, Andrew.
Really?
Riot comes out and says for the first time ever, they will be introducing 2 guest spots into the LCS, the professional European pro scene. And these 2 guest spots will be reserved for the winners of EMEA Masters Spring, which they lost, and EMEA Masters Winter, which they had won. Which means clearly somebody, and again, I'm reading through the Wikipedia now, and I feel like I might have got some of this wrong. Shut up. I'm setting the stage and making it theatric, right? Should I just read through this? So they go through the Red Bull League of its own event, and in the Red Bull League of its own event, they take popular streamers and they pit them up against professional players to be funny. One of the professional players is Faker, right?
That's
Very scary individual. This is like playing a recreational basketball game against Michael Jordan, right? But they take all the professional players and they swap their roles. So Faker doesn't get to play mid. He has to play like support or something. We got to nerf him a little bit.
Okay.
But they play up against 5 streamers, and the streamers get whatever they want, right? So Baus is playing on his tried and true Scion, who he's known for. And in the midst of this for fun Red Bull promotional game, he gets a clip where he kills Faker. And he does it properly. This isn't he got lucky. This is Faker did not anticipate the damage coming off him. He properly killed him.
Nice.
Right? In the game.
Huge.
So it's always been this thing where it's like, oh my God, Baus killed Faker. Could he be the greatest player in the world? If only they would take off the handcuffs and let him play professionally, right?
Yeah.
That was all prior to them playing on Los Ratones. NLC Winter 2025, January 2nd last year, Los Ratones announces their participation in the UK's Northern League of Legends Championship, NLC, again, step below LCS. Despite the potential competitive disadvantage of streaming all their scrims and revealing all of their strategies, right? That's a big reason why pro players don't show their practices. The team dominated the winter seeding group, undefeated 4-0. This is seeding. This is to get your position. In the playoffs, they continued their impressive performance, defeating DMG Esports, Bulldog Esports with 2-0 victories, and beating Nord 3-1 in the upper bracket final, ultimately securing a 3-0 sweep against Nord in the actual finals on match 2. This triumph earned them their first domestic championship and qualified them for EMEA Masters. EMEA is that college football level, right? So they played Tier 3. They qualified for Tier 2. Tier 2 Winter. EMEA Masters Winter. As the NLC's sole representative in the winter split, NLC being UK. So they're the UK team, right? They have to play against France and stuff. They're the only UK team. Los Ratones proceeded into a 4-team double elimination bracket group. 4-team means you play 3 other teams. Double elimination means if you win twice, you're good, and you move on. If you lose twice, you are out. If you lose once, you play against the other guy who lost once. And whoever loses twice loses. Whoever wins twice moves on. They win, obviously. They beat Carmen Corp Blue. Carmen Corp is a real team, a pro team, and Carmen Corp
so
Blue.
They're a pro team.
Carmen Corp Blue is their
Gotcha.
Their sub
scouting team, yeah.
Their scouting team. Nightbirds and WE Einfrance Esports. Those are all not real teams. That you've never heard of those, even if you watch League, right? This is all just regional competition, right?
Gotcha.
These guys. They lose to Carmen Corp Blue in their first qualifying match. So immediately against the best team and the only one with real professional credentials, they lose immediately. The build up to the story, Andrew, like imagine watching these games live.
It's not making a good movie, I'll tell you that much.
You know what I mean? Their second match against EWE on France Esports, they win. Right? So they move on to the quarterfinals at 1-1. And again, this is double elim. So if they lose again, they're out.
Hold on, we might be back in the movie.
If they lose again, they're out. In the quarterfinals, they go up against Papara Supermassive. They go 5 games, and they win.
Nice!
So they move on. They're 2-1. In the semifinals, they're up against Team Phantasm, who wasn't very good in their own bracket. They 3-0 them.
Ooh!
Oh, my God. Maybe it was nerves. It was their first game ever, right? Who knows?
Yeah. You know, they might be... We're gearing up here.
In the finals, they're up against Ichi Japan Corp, and they win 3-0, becoming the UK-based winner in EMEA Masters. I already told you they won their first Masters endeavor, but that was the play-by-play, right?
Yeah.
But there was always this hovering, they lost to Carmen Corp, right? Mm-hmm. And they didn't have to play Carmen Corp again because it was double elim quad bracket. They didn't have to do a best of 5. Thank God Carmen Corp got eliminated by someone else because they might have been the kryptonite to break these guys down, right?
Right.
Spring comes along. Los Ratones ends up in the next EMEA Masters. Again, they are now the first seed representative for the UK. Los Ratones were seeded into a 4-team double elimination bracket yet again. They're up against Coughlin Hangry Knights, Axolotl, and Barcelonas Esports. Don't have to play Carmen Corp at least. Their first game, they're up against Barcelona Esports, and they lose.
Oh no!
These boys cannot set the tone for shit. Andrew.
Yeah, no, they're real. They're second half players, you know.
Their second match is against Coughlin Hangry Knights, and they win. They get to move on to the quarterfinals. They're 1-1 yet again.
They just got to get the adrenaline going for themselves.
Right. Up against. In their next match, they're up against the NLC second seed Nord Esports. NLC second seed means if Nord does better than them, that's the team that's looking to be able to move up in some capacity to the pro teams.
Yeah.
So they have a very similar storyline in that we're too good for this, but we have to do this to prove that we can play up against the big boys. So Nord is the big enemy. They get faced up against Nord. And they beat Nord 3-0.
Okay. Damn.
Similarly to the Winter EMEA, they took on Turkey's first seed, which is now Boostgate Esports. In the quarterfinals, just like the first time, they go 5 full games and end up winning.
Nice.
3-2.
Oh my God.
Semifinals, they're up against BK ROG Esports. We haven't.
Brooklyn.
Nobody knows who that is, and just like every other team that nobody's ever heard of, they win 3-0. Fantastic. They have now won EMEA Masters twice to end up in the finals. They are now up against Barcelona Esports. They once again win 3-0.
Damn.
That is their second EMEA Masters win. Now, they are in EMEA Masters for the 3rd time. They won winter. They won spring. It is now summer. This is where the tumultuous, are they going to keep playing? Is there any goal? If Riot was going to bump them up, wouldn't they do it by now? They've won 2 titles.
Think it would have happened already.
Whatever. The boys seem to be having fun doing it. They're getting better day by day. That last game was a tough one. If they keep winning, Riot's got to do something. We want to see them play pro. EMEA Masters 2025. They are the double champion. They're now on the... there's something in esports called the Golden Road. And it is when you do not lose a game in your regionals, which is your country. You do not lose your games at MSI, which is the mid-seasonal invitation. It's an international competition, but it's smaller. And you do not lose a game in Worlds, the final big invitational. So you finish a season unstoppable. We call that the Golden Road. In League of Legends, there is a very famous quote because I believe it was Jynxzi, or it might have been Hanwha Life, that was on a Golden Road. And they do these promotional things, you know, like during a fight where they'll trash talk each other. Mm-hmm. One of the HLE players says, "This is our Golden Road. Nothing is going to stop us from the championship." And the person who's responding to him is Faker in this promotional video. And Faker goes, "Brother, remember one thing. All roads lead to me." And it's got this shot of the championship cup. And then, like, Faker's face, like, swings in front of it when they play that quote. And it was crazy. I cannot tell you how insane it was. And Faker's team wins. They actually halt their Golden Road. So that phrase has, like, it means something to us League players, right? Los Ratones is aiming for a Golden Road. Los Ratones has not lost a single match moving into this competition. And so they're trying to... It's not really a Golden Road because it's not the pro play, but, like, fuck it, we'll take anything, man. We love Los Ratones. Give them all the credentials. Give them a situation to look good. We want to see them play pro, right?
Yeah.
They've won every regional. They've run every continental tournament, right? There are 10 teams that are in this summer competition. They get seeded into 2 groups. This is a single round best of 1. There is no double elimination. There is no bracket. You play, you win, you move on. You lose, you're out.
Yeah,
stakes are much harder to move on in this round 1, right? Los Ratones ends up seeded into Group A, and they are up against Verdant, Bulldog, DMG, and Ludvist Lightside. None of these teams are teams they have lost to before. The only one who's really scary is Karman Corp, and they're in the other bracket. So they're a shoo-in. Top 4 teams of each group would get seeded into the winner's bracket, which means only one team loses and gets out, right?
Right.
In the final group match against Verdant, one of the longest games of the split, lasting nearly 55 minutes. League games typically, it's like these guys aren't going to win. There's too much of an advantage at like 25 minutes, and then it's a hard fight to 30, 35. 55 is like, it's more common in the lower ranks because they don't know how to end a game. It's harder, right?
Exactly.
They don't play as well. Heavy engages, heavy trading. While Verdant led in kills for much of the match, Los Ratones maintained superior macro control, holding a gold advantage for most of the game before ultimately securing the final Chemtech Dragon Soul and then closing out the win. The boys made it out of their first brackets.
Let's fucking go.
They move on into playoffs and they continue their dominance. They knock out Chaos Esports 2-0. They knock out Nord Esports 2-1. Those are the other guys that were supposed to look good. They just took them out of the tournament. In the loser, and they knock them down to the losers bracket. In the winners bracket, they're up against Rich Gang. Great team name, by the way.
Fantastic name.
They win 3-0.
Rich Gang.
They win 3-0. They meet Verdant again. And again, this is the team that took them almost an hour to beat last time, but they're in a best of 5 this time. They win.
Nice.
3-0. They claimed their 3rd NCL title of 2025. Crownie was awarded the finals MVP, and they move on to the finals. That's the domestic side. Now, they've qualified for EMEA Masters 2025, marking their 3rd appearance of this college football level. Qualification stage begins positively as Los Ratones defeats Forsaken in the opening round. In number 2, they are up against Barcelona Esports. This is another one of the teams they've had a difficult time with.
Yeah.
Up against Barcelona. sorry, I lost my place. Up against Barcelona, it's only a best of one. They only play one game, and they lose. They get knocked down to the losers bracket. It's a best of one. What can you do? It's not a golden road anymore. But they're not out. There's a losers bracket.
They're still in it.
Losers bracket plays the winners bracket. Following 2 rounds, they're up against Misa Esports and Galleons. And again, if you've never heard of these teams before, Los Ratones does not fuck up. They beat both. They recover in the first 2 rounds, securing wins to remain in strong contention, but suffer back-to-back 1-2 losses in round 5 and 6 against Misa and Galleons. Sorry, they lost to Misa and Galleons. They're up against elimination now. The next loss loses them. The next win will put them forward in the losers bracket. They rallied in their characteristic fashion, convincingly sweeping the representatives from Storm Media, Fejni, Mixlad, and Vitality/B 3-0 to secure a place in the playoff bracket from the losers bracket. They made it out of losers bracket. They won the games that mattered. They won the games that matter. They are now in the semifinals against Carmen Corp.
Oh, no.
Now, Carmen Corp is the only one that's given them real big difficulties. But listen.
Some real hell.
Their entire thing is underdog strategy. They're winning from the losers bracket. They're losing games to people that don't matter. But they've won this twice, back to back. This is their story. They're going to keep doing this until Riot gives them a fucking invitational, right?
Yeah.
They did not win a single game. It was a best of 5.
Oh, no. They got 3-0'd.
They got 0-3'd. And it's like, and it was so bad because it's like the first loss was like, whatever. If we win the first game, they're going to start trying. And we work from behind. 0-2, listen, it wouldn't be a nail-biting experience if it wasn't Los Ratones.
Yeah.
3 sweep, and they just lose. They don't even get a chance to play back. The loss not only secured them a shared 3rd and 4th place to finish, but it also brought an end to the dream of a flawless competitive season. Nevertheless, the impact on the European Tier 2 scene has been enormous as more streamers-driven teams got announced in 2026. At this point, if I'm not mistaken, Cadrol posts a video to the Los Ratones YouTube channel titled Thank You Baus, which really made everybody wonder if Baus was going to continue streaming or playing for this team. He is kind of the heartblood of everything, being the biggest streamer on it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if they're not even going to keep winning championships, how does this make sense to take away from the 20,000 viewer stream that he does 5 days a week? He can't keep playing competitive if there's nothing in it for him. That video turned out to be a bit of a hoax. It was clickbait. Baus would be continuing to play with the team. And, as I've unfortunately already led you on to, despite the fact that they lost this final EMEA Masters, which, by the way, this means I remembered all of this correctly. They won 2, lost 1, and now everybody's deflated from losing the 3rd one, right? Riot announces ELC Versus. They announce that up against the most professional teams in the world, in Europe, the real ones, actual NFL, they would be introducing a hallmark, prestigious guest spot in the regional qualifiers for these guys. Now, the winners of this don't move on to international play. They move on to more regional play to seed them to see what top 4 teams move to international.
Right. So
it's not like if Baus's team wins this, they're going to go play Faker, but it's a step. And remember, these are real rankings with real teams. If they're playing against real teams,
big boys,
and they rank in the top 4, the top 4 move on to the best of 3s. And the top 4 from there go to Worlds. They can't introduce these guys as a guest team, have them win the thing, and then say, sorry, you don't get to move on to represent Europe at Worlds.
Yeah.
So all they got to do is win. And they've proven they can. All they have to do is win, and if they do, they might be able to play Worlds. But even if not, Baus is going to play against the real pro players. The real ones.
It's what everybody's been waiting for.
No academy teams, nothing, right? They're now in the real LEC. They're in the pro matches in the regional qualifiers. Los Ratones has made it. There's 2 guest spots. The other spot is Carmen Core Blue. Now, they are up against Fnatic, G2 Esports, Giant X, Carmen Corp, the real one.
Uh-oh.
Movistar Koi, who, fun fact, the mid laner for Movistar Koi was, if I'm not mistaken, 16 years old.
Oh.
When Faker won his first championship in League of Legends, the mid laner for Movistar Koi was 4 years old. Faker is 30. He has also been a professional player since he was like 16. Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
Faker's a monster, and he still plays, by the way. Navi, Shifters, who whenever they play poorly, we call them shitters. It's very fun. SK Gaming, Team Heretics, Team Vitality. The main ones to pay attention to are Fnatic. Fnatic is sort of the hallmark European team. It's very much from Counter-Strike, where Fnatic is one of the best European teams, but also in League of Legends, they have had a number of the best players play for their team.
Gotcha.
So they're one of the biggest. They're not always the favorites because Europe is always kind of up in the air. But the other one is G2. G2 is currently considered, or was considered, one of the strongest teams in Europe. The biggest one being the fact that they have Caps as their mid laner. Caps is considered the only mid laner in Europe better than Nemesis. Or to say that Nemesis would be the best mid laner if it wasn't for Caps. And Nemesis plays on Los Ratones. So there is a big grudge match between the best pro player in mid in Europe, who went to be a pro player, and the second best pro player in Europe, who went to be a streamer. Right. We actually get to see them go head to head. That was a big point of contention. And then obviously up against Movistar Koi being the actual one of the best European teams and having that really young mid laner who's as young as Faker. Everybody's like, oh my God, how are these guys going to match up against the Rats? You know what I mean? But then there's also a little bit of a grudge match because the other team that qualified with Los Ratones is Carmen Corp Blue, the team that knocked them out of their third title. Not only that, but one of the big pro teams that isn't really relevant player-wise is Carmen Corp. The not academy ones, right? The big boys, right?
The big fellas.
So there's a lot of scary shit going on, right? How are these boys going to do? Match 1, week 1. All of these games are best of ones, which is very scary.
Very scary.
These pro gamers have 1,000 games under their belt. Our Rats have like 40.
Yeah, right? And they're also known for not making a big first impression.
So this isn't a great format to let them shine. It's really fucking scary, Andrew.
Yeah.
Match 1, week 1. Every week they are up against 3 competitors. And it's kind of like Mario Kart, where it's this whole tournament of you don't got to come first, but you got to get above 6th enough times to have a half-decent number of points to move on.
Yeah.
Week 1, they're up against Fnatic. One of the stronger teams, no incredible players to pay attention to. They lose. It's a best of 1. But they don't look... They don't look great, actually. They actually don't look great.
Not looking like top form.
They might be a little bit outclassed against the big boys, Andrew.
Uh-oh.
This might be a really embarrassing experience for 12 games.
They headed right to the rat trap.
Second game of week 1, they're up against Carmen Corp Blue, who they have played a number of teams. They've played them a number of times. They've beaten them a number of times. The only time they lost against them was when it mattered in Masters. They lose. They look good, though. They took them to the ropes. They got some kills. You know, they were doing half decently, and they're getting a better anticipation of what champions they can play. Again, when you play against these teams, you don't get to learn a little bit about them and do better in game 2. It's just gone. Yeah. Right? You only get one game. Our boys are underdogs. They don't, Match 3, they're up against real Carmen Corp. Not Carmen Corp Blue. They do not win. They end up losing that as well. It's very sad to watch. Week 1 is over. The Rats are 0-3.
I'm so freaking pissed right now.
Andrew, I thought it'd at least be competitive.
You thought you guys were gonna do something? A little something, put up a couple of little fights as like the Patriots fans this year with the Super Bowl.
Week 2 starts. everybody's fucking moping around. I'm walking around like Charlie Brown.
Yeah, you're the Charlie Brown music playing.
My
just
wife is
sad
asking
as
me
hell.
all day. She's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I'm just so fucking sad, man. I'm just so fucking sad." I was so bummed out after week 1, man. I was so fucking sad. I was setting alarms, waking up early because the matches started like 10 o'clock. I was like, I'm not missing the Rats, man. Oh, fuck. It was
You don't
such
wanna
a
miss
feeling.
the Rats.
They're up against Giant X.
Real tears.
Not much to say about Giant X. They're a professional team with no super outstanding players that like are interesting internationally. They lose.
Oh no.
Interestingly, Carmen Corp Blue also loses against one of the professional teams, so it's like, whatever, at least they're losing too, I guess. They also lost against Vitality. They also lost against, the only win they have is against the Rats. So while the Rats are 0-3, 0-4 now, they have one win, but only because they played the Rats, right?
Right.
Second game, 0-4. Los Ratones versus Team Heretics, which is a real professional team, not a quote, invite anything. They win.
Interesting.
Cadrol is live streaming this on Twitch in the venue. He's up in the rafters at a computer streaming. His team is behind him. Baus comes in clutch after getting his ass kicked the entire game, right?
Right.
Shows up, his champion has like a gigantic run with me, I'm going to smash into the team move as his ultimate. He does so. He hits 5. He kills 3 by himself. Nemesis, again, one of the best mid laners, follows up, hits the entire team with a shockwave. They wipe all 5 players while losing nobody from an underdog position, close out the game. Cadrol is crying on stream. He's going, I'm so sorry about this. It's just been so fucking emotional, man. There's been so much fucking hate mail. Nobody thought we could do it. I'm fucking tearing up thinking about it, man. Oh my God. It was so crazy to watch. It was so fucking crazy to watch, man.
That's fucking sick.
They took down a real pro team, and they banned out Baus. Baus only plays one champion at a really good level, and they banned him. They weren't, like, playing around with them.
Yeah.
Everybody on the professional team at every single interview was asked, what do you think about Los Ratones? And every single pro player was like, they don't deserve to be here. Like, this is an insult to the fact that we had to pay the money that we did to get our franchise spot. These guys get to come in for free, what, just because they have a big audience? We're going to fucking show them that it takes skill to be up here. They were shit-talking them the entire time, Andrew.
Also,
Every single one of
the
them.
players didn't pay for that shit. The big corporation that you're playing for paid for it. Let's not get high and mighty about how much money we're spending to be what place.
They're 1-5. 1-4.
But it's a big
at this
1 in
point.
5. That's a heavy 1 in 5.
1-4. Sorry, this is match 5. So 1-4. They still have one more match in week 2. Week 2, their final match is up against Shifters. They're in the middle of the day. They win again.
I'm upgrading.
And it wasn't Baus that won it this time. It wasn't the one big player we needed to show up. Velia, their jungler, the guy who has no professional experience whatsoever, was like 8-0. He was deleting people against pro players, and Velia had been spending the first 4 games just getting his ass kicked, not knowing what to do because he'd never been on a stage like this. That's 2 of the 5 players that we didn't know if needed to be there, and the other 3 have pro experience. So the 2 guys who probably had fucking cold feet are now getting warm feet. The team's becoming cohesive, Andrew.
The feet's getting hot.
They're 2-4, which isn't great, but they're going into week 3, and really all they needed to do was know that it was possible, in my opinion. They are now up against Movie Star Koi, arguably the strongest European team that Europe has. This is the team with that 16-year-old who, when he played internationally against Faker, kind of whooped his ass in game 1. Ooh. This kid is a prodigy, and the rest of their team is not any worse. This is a monster game. They win again.
Yes!
They are 3-4 up against professional teams, and they looked good. And this time it was Crowny yet another of their players becoming the one to get the kills and put the team on their back. The hallmark of a strong team is having a team where any one of the 5 players, if given an advantage, can turn the entire game.
Can be the big game changer, yeah.
The weakest teams are the ones where only one player pops off a lot because you only got to kill that one player to move along. That's only game 1, though, of week 3. Let's move on to game 2.
Wait, so week 3 it's not a one-off thing? This is best of...
Week 3s are still best of 1s. However, the best of 1s here, everybody is playing... No, it's the same as week 1 and 2. It's still best of 1s. Everybody just plays each other. You do this 8 times. You play every team twice to get a best of 8. And then whoever is in the top 4 moves on. Again, it's like Mario Kart, where you need enough points to be the top 4
Gotcha.
at the end of the tournament, right? Game 1, they're against Movie Star Koi. They win. They are 3-4. Game 2, they are up against G2 Esports, which, as I explained, is the second best team.
Yeah, they're another big
and they're
big
the
boy
ones
group.
who have the big mid laner. And again, up until this point...
is the grudge match.
Up until this point, our mid laner is arguably the second best mid laner in Europe, and he has been dominating every game. The ones we won, the ones we lost, Nemesis is performing. He is in tip-top shape, whereas everybody else is kind of, I don't know how to be on stage, blah, blah, blah. Nemesis, ice water in his veins. It doesn't matter if he's against the best or the worst, Nemesis is going to perform. But Nemesis is a mid laner. So now you are against a team who has the only mid laner that we are arguing is better than you in caps. And this is a very good team. They win again.
I'm running out of epic sound effects for this.
And the MVP of the game is Nemesis. Ooh! He performs
Grudge match.
even against who? Andrew, they are 4-4.
Grudge match 1.
We started 0-4. We thought we weren't going to fucking make it because we lost to the fucking bum-ass
Bro, this
teams.
is Braun with the calves.
And now we've won 4 in a row, and 3 of those were the best teams in the region.
We were down 1-3. They're sick. They're on the comeback trail. This is going in the documentary.
The last game in week 3 is against Navi. They lose. But 4-5, whatever. 4 in a row, Andrew.
Yeah,
4 in a row.
4 in a row is a good little streak.
0-4 was certain elimination. Everybody was just clowning on Los Ratones the entire time.
4-5.
4-5 is like, wait a second, and it was against the best teams. Now
Yeah.
it's like, listen, the boys were just nervous.
They've got
Okay?
some juice.
Week 4, and this is the deciding factor. From this point on, at the end of week 4, it is going to be a question of who is in the first 6 slots and who is in the bottom 6 slots in cumulative wins and losses to move on to the best of 3 rounds. And that's the point where if you end up in top, you're going to move on to play against Faker, play against Korea, play against America, that sort of thing. Los Ratones goes up against SK Gaming. They win 5-5. Los Ratones goes against Vitality Gaming. They lose 5-6. Los Ratones is now against SK Vitality. Sorry, am I missing it? SK Gaming, they win. They're 5-4, whatever. Vitality, they lost. Sorry, they only play 2 teams in week 4. They only play 2 teams.
Oh.
So Los Ratones is in a situation in the Vitality game where, because they're like 5-3, 5-6, they're 5-5 at this point. They're 5-5. They have 5 wins. They have 5 losses. In order to move on, they need to be in 8th place or better. There are only 4 of the 12 teams that are eliminated from this, right? A win to Vitality means a 80% chance that they're in the top 8. It's going to come down to who loses what after that. But they are comfortably in either 8th or 9th place if they win Vitality. If they lose to Vitality, there's about an 80% chance they are not going to make it.
Yeah.
There is a whirlwind of things that needs to happen, but they're pretty unlikely to happen. Basically, what needs to happen is Carmine Corp Blue needs to lose against Giant X, and Carmine Corp Blue is the other bum-ass team. But because of the way the points are set up, if they lose to the pro team, then Giant X will have taken a point away from them, and they will end up not making it on. On top of that, Shifters needs to lose against SK Gaming. Navi needs to win against MKOI. Team Heretics needs to lose to KCB. And Fnatic needs to win against G2, right? Now, you don't know any of these teams. That's
a lot of factors, though.
It's tough to factor in everything that goes on. But a lot of shit needs to happen for Los Ratones to end up getting kicked out of this, right? And 3 of those 5 matches are pretty underdog. It's like a 70-30 split. Come on.
Gotcha.
Right? But, like, they just beat Vitality. Just beat them and then give yourself the 90% win chance, right? Mm-hmm. But they lose.
Oh.
They lose their final match. And they leave everything up to the hands of how everybody else places throughout this. Now, there's a little bit of, listen, we're the underdog team. Nobody's nervous about this. If we won right now and guaranteed our spot, you guys wouldn't have any reason to watch the rest of the games, right? It's going to be a fun day. And brother, I sat in front of this stream for maybe 12 hours while I was watching. I had to watch every single game, piecing together. I had a calculator out, piecing together. If these guys win, then these guys lose. Then Los Ratones is up to 7th place, down to 8th place.
Got the Excel sheet out.
So Carmine Corp Blue, the other subpar team against Los Ratones, has to lose against Giant X in order for Carmine Corp Blue to be knocked low enough that... Or in order for Giant X to be knocked low enough, it's a lot of complicated things. But Giant X is ranked highly. Lowly. We want them to win so that they're guaranteed top 4 and they're not fighting for 6 and 7 where Los Ratones are. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Carmine Corp wins, and this is Carmine Corp Blue, the alternative team.
Okay.
This is very bad.
Yeah, this is not good.
Very bad, because not only is it worse for Los Ratones' chances here, but it's also the other team that beat them twice.
Yeah.
Not only do they not get a deciding we get to beat you back, but this might be one of the things that leads to Los Ratones not being able to play on at all, is them performing well at this situation. Shifters needs to lose to SK Gaming. They do not. Navi needs to beat MKOI. These are top 4 teams. It could go either way. They do not. Team Heretics needs to lose to Carmine Corp. Not Carmine Corp Blue, the real one. These are positions 5 and 6. It could go either way. They don't do it. And the final match is Fnatic against G2. G2 has looked relatively bad through this game. Or through this setup, right?
Yeah.
They're currently in 4th place, give or take. Fnatic is in a position where they can beat them. And the very upsetting thing here, and keep in mind, this is the last match, and it is still the determining factor. If Fnatic wins, then they get bumped up and bumped down G2. Fnatic would end up with 6 wins, 6 losses. Sorry. Hold on. I need just 1 second to figure this out.
Do your math.
If Fnatic beats G2, Fnatic would be 6 and 5 and comfortably in 7th place. If G2 loses to Fnatic, this same thing, G2 would be 5 and 6, which is tied with Los Ratones. And then it comes down to how many... They have the same number of wins and losses. It comes down to seeding, something like that. So basically, Los Ratones is 9th place and does not make top 8. If G2 is the one in 8th place, because they rank above G2. But if Fnatic is the one in 8th place, then Fnatic has more like games won or kills or beat them in less time, whatever the secondary metric is, that Fnatic would get 8th place and Los Ratones would be 9th, not making top 8. So we basically need Fnatic to win here. And for whatever reason, it really feels like Fnatic isn't trying to win.
Ooh, they throwing it.
Because Fnatic is going to be in the winner's bracket no matter what. They're already top 8 whether they win or lose. It's only G2 that needs to be scared here. Because if G2 loses, they don't end up 8th. They end up 9th because Los Ratones has more points. So all we need is for G2 to fucking lose. Fnatic's playing better, blah, 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 whatever. And Fnatic, I forget what it is exactly, but they pick different champs than what they play normally. They do different shit than what they do normally. And it really feels like they played this game poorly on purpose. G2 wins. Fnatic gets placed 8th. G2 gets placed 7th. Los Ratones finishes 9th. Now, to put this in perspective, if Los Ratones had won one more game, they would be tied for 4th place.
Oh, goddamn.
4, 5, 6, and 7 all finished 6 wins, 5 losses. Fnatic finishes 5 and 6, Los Ratones finishes 5 and 6, and even Shift Gaming finishes 5 and 6. But because Fnatic won their games in the least amount of time, or whatever secondary metric they had, they get 8th. Los Ratones and Shifters, unfortunately, even though they're also 5 and 6, end up 9th and 10th. It was cringe, bro.
That's very cringe. They didn't get a single... the RNG was terrible.
They could have had any of those last 5 games gone in any other way. They could have just not started 0 and 4. If they had even any confidence to be like, boys, we can do this. If they had started with their first 5 wins and lost with their next 4 losses, at least they would have the confidence and maybe do better. But everybody feels like it's because it was their first time on stage, and it really felt like every other professional team was gunning to make an example out of them. Man, it was a thing. Los Ratones would go on to disband. Baus is no longer...
Damn.
You know, he feels like he's accomplished what he's needed to. He was able to go toe-to-toe with the best pro players. He's streaming full-time. The other 4 would move on to a new team called Witchcraft, which was basically the same thing, but they just got a different top laner in... I've already forgotten what his name is, but he went viral for a different thing. They lost immediately. The whole identity kind of fell apart without the big streamer in front of it. But yeah, so all of that happened earlier this year. It was a whole thing.
I'm not tapped into that at all.
I was glued to my fucking seat, man. It was some of the best fucking... And here's the thing. It wasn't even pro play. It wasn't even Korean. It wasn't even Worlds. This was regional European League of Legends, and my Virginia living ass wouldn't have done anything else with my time.
Sometimes you just need a good story.
The reason I wanted to run you through all this is because Riot has been having an issue getting people to watch League of Legends. And with this happening recently, a lot of conversation has been coming up with people thinking that, you know, if you're not going to take the time to make a professional circuit where everybody's playing phenomenally and getting viewers to watch and whatever, maybe you should dump some money into getting your fans and your audiences, the streamers who promote your game. I mean, 400,000 people were watching the finals of that Los Ratones game. That's a crazy amount of viewership. And, you know, here, let me show you something real quick. Let me see if I can find this for you. LCS versus 2025. Let's see if I can pull up the numbers for this. LCS is the European team.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be 6 months ago at this point, right? But I think I'll be able to find it. Let's see. Oh, sorry. It's LR, right? No? 8 months ago? Wait, how long did I say ago this was, Andrew?
If it was earlier this year, it'd only be like 3 or 4 months ago, right?
3 or 4 months, but I can't find it? Oh, maybe it isn't... Okay, anyway, take my word for it. On the LCS website,
I'll take your word for it.
They post the VODs for the games, so you can watch them after they're live, right?
Gotcha.
And the games against Los Ratones that they played in were doing like 300,000, 500,000 views on their YouTube channels when they were uploaded.
Ooh.
And the videos for every other team in that same tournament were getting like 6,000 views. It's very clear, right, that these guys are fucking... This is the reason people are watching. This is the reason people are watching. Here we go. It's on the LEC. Oh, it's on the LEC thing. Okay, let me see if I can find the LEC versus... I was looking at the wrong Look at the wrong YouTube channel. This is why nobody fucking watches professional League of Legends. You can't even find anything.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of a bitch to find stuff for it. Doesn't seem like they're making it super
Look at this.
easy.
Los Ratones versus SK Gaming. 137,000 views.
Yeah, comparatively to what the other stuff is.
KC versus GX. Nothing. Let's look at week 4. Their final week. Or was that week 4? Is Los Ratones in this? Sorry, that was week 4? Did I say SK was their last game? Los Ratones last week in the LEC. That's like a filler video. Week 3, here we go. Versus Navi, 100,000 views. Versus G2, 200,000 views. Look at the video right before it. 10,000. 4,000.
2.8, baby.
Navi versus Shifters. And then Los Ratones versus get 200K. Look at what Los Ratones is doing for this organization. These are professional matches and every one of these other things. They're getting 5,000 views at best. They're getting 150,000 views without trying on the LR games.
Yeah, that's actually kind of wild.
So Jynxzi is a Rainbow Six streamer. He recently, maybe last year, moved away from streaming Rainbow Six because he felt like there were too many cheaters in the game or something. Started streaming Clash Royale for like 8 months or whatever.
Clash Royale? Isn't that like a mobile app?
It is a mobile game. It's a weird choice for him, but
he must have been paid a shit ton of money to do that.
No, I think he just loved it because he was like the #1 player. The only reason I say so is because there was a little incident where Clash Royale gave a big thank you to their community on Twitter for the growth of the game in 2025 or whatever it was, but didn't mention Jynxzi. And everybody retaliated. The only fucking reason you have so many more people playing is because Jynxzi's streaming to 100,000 fucking people playing Clash Royale. You should meant to say his name.
That is a very weird choice.
And they ended up saying exactly that. Thank you, Jynxzi. Sorry, never meant to leave you out, buddy. That sort of thing.
Thank you, Jynxzi.
Jynxzi recently started playing League of Legends. He's not good. He's really fucking bad. As is everybody. It takes several years to get good at League of Legends. To get competent at League of Legends, it takes several years. That game is just not intuitive to any other game you've played, typically. Most of the people that are good at League of Legends when they start were good at Dota, the only other comparable game, right? Or Heroes of the Storm or Smite, if you've ever played any of that. Jynxzi's a big streamer. Bad as he might be at the game, Jynxzi is a big streamer. He has a big community from Rainbow Six that obviously doesn't have much overlap with something like League of Legends, right?
Yeah, I would not imagine so.
He links up with a couple League of Legends streamers in an effort to teach him how to play the game. For content, primarily. One of whom is Dantes. Dantes is... he's known for being a little bit psychotic. He just kind of says the craziest shit. One of my favorite quotes by Dantes is... hardcore dubstep is a lot like having a finger in your ass. Where at first it's like, I don't really know if I'm into this, but... over enough time, eventually you start low-key nutting. One of my favorite quotes. One of my favorite quotes by Dantes.
I don't know if I can fully agree with him, but...
he says whatever's on his mind. He's always screaming. The music on his streams, it's hard to watch his streams because of how loud he plays his music. But he's a very good Heckra main. Another one of my favorite clips by Dantes is he reads a chat message that goes... would you rather have a girl with a big ass or big boobs? And he goes, neither. I would rather have 3 winning lanes. And then starts screaming, do you guys even listen to the shit I say to you? And then just queues up for another game. He's a character.
He's quite a guy.
Jynxzi is being coached by Dantes to play the role that Dantes plays. Dantes is very good at the game, mind you. He's very good at the game. Jynxzi asked Dantes at one point, why don't I forfeit this game? We're down 50 kills. And Dantes goes, Jynxzi, the way that I look at it is like this. There is always a possibility that somebody might break into the house of their mid laner and shoot them in the head. And while that probability is alive, you have a chance to win this game. So we are not going to forfeit. And Jynxzi just goes, yes, coach.
Yes, coach. Hey, man, sometimes you got to bring the hammer down to get these kids in line.
He had a different interaction with Tyler 1 in the call where they're both commentating a game. And Dantes goes, Jynxzi, what did I tell you about these situations? And Jynxzi goes, Coach, you said you should never give up because the enemy might have a home invasion occur where they end up getting killed, and then you have a chance to come back. And he goes, exactly, Jynxzi.
Well,
you
I mean,
are
listen,
learning.
It's sticking with him. That's good teaching.
Every minute of their coaching calls have been crazy shit like that. Jynxzi is not improving. He is not getting better at the game. It's not surprising why.
I appreciate that. Someone who keeps putting hours into something and refuses to get better at it. I appreciate that kind of person.
Exactly. I will mention to you that Jynxzi is the opposite of that, and that is a big fear that everybody has with this ongoing thing, is that he will do what he did with many other games and hop off once he realizes the amount of hours it takes to actually become a member of the community and good at it, and that might be another fall off of... Anyway, Jynxzi decides to do a streamer tournament pretty soon after starting to learn the game, mind you, but he's a big streamer. He's got a lot of money. Let him do whatever he wants to. Rainbow Six Siege tournaments were a big part of his streams when he played Rainbow Six Siege, so it's on brand, I guess. Jynxzi League tournament. He announces that he wants to do it, and he says, hey, he tweets out, does anybody want to be a part of my League of Legends tournament? I want to get some professional players or big stream members to be coaches. Everybody will have 5 players on their team, obviously. One of them will be a real challenger. Challenger is the top rank you can get in League. Each team will have a captain. The captain will be that big professional player, streamer, whomever. They have to play support, and they have to play an enchanter, meaning you do not get to play something that's going to be able to make big decisions in the game. You got to play supportive.
Gotcha.
The other 4 players have to be platinum at best, which means all new players, basically. You can have one player who's been playing for a few years, but pretty much everybody on your team is going to be a brain-dead monkey learning the game as it goes on, right?
Right.
He gets some big fucking names in the streamer tournament, by the way. He gets... Can I see the brackets?
Come on.
Teams.
Get this man a bracket.
I'm going to throw up. Like, what? Okay, I guess I have to look up the Leaguepedia. Okay, can I see the roster? Player chart, here we go. All right, so, Team 1, we have Team Jynxzi, obviously. Coached by Dantes, obviously. So this little TikTok interaction that they had has now progressed into them having their own stream and the 5 players that'll play below them, right? They also have Team Los Pollos TV, which is coached by Tyler One. So he gets a 5-man team. We have Team Marlin, which will be coached by Double Lift, who was arguably the best AD carry player in American League of Legends. He is now a streamer. We have Team Team Ray, who is Alois, who is a very, very good European streamer, top laner, whatever. Team Stable Ronaldo, who is coached by Po Belter, again, very good European player. I also think he used to be on Team Liquid. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Team The Burnt Peanut. The Burnt Peanut is in this. Coached by No Way, who used to play for No Need Orga, which is sort of like a pseudo pro team. It was also a group of streamers, much like Los Ratones. Actually, before Los Ratones, but nowhere near as popular, right?
Gotcha.
Team Yusuf, coached by Disguised Toast, coached by Yasuo, who is also a big streamer, played professionally, blah, blah, blah. And then Team Zoil, which is a team that is featuring XQC and is streamed by Sneaky, arguably the second best AD carry from North America, ex-pro player, blah, blah, blah. If I'm not mistaken, Team Burnt Peanut had Mr. Beast on their team as well. And then Team Marlin, I think, had Moist Critical as their top laner.
I hope that team remembered the Titans.
There was a lot of big fucking people. Take a guess at what you think the numbers were for this.
Oh my god.
Take a guess at what you think the numbers were for this. I'm going to give you an easy one, which is peak viewership in the grand finals. Now, this is just Jynxzi, give or take, and the people streaming around him, just Twitch, right? So this is just whoever streamed. Quickly, Mr. Beast did not stream this on anything. He was just part of the game. Burnt Peanut did, Jynxzi did, Moist Critical did, and the rest of the streamers as per usual. Commentated by Jynxzi, Dantes, and Tyler One, all of whom lost in the first 2 rounds, and so just commentated the finals as XQC and I think Ludwig's team played in the finals, something like that. But overall, aired for about 9 hours. What do you think the peak viewership was for this tournament?
Oh man, I don't even. It'd have to be a couple million.
Not a bad guess. Not 900,000 peak viewership, an average of 500,000 over almost 9 hours. And again, this is a not Riot sponsored, promoted. This is a dude sent out a tweet, got a bunch of streamer friends together, and did it the following week.
Yeah,
for 20 grand or whatever he had in his pocket.
Yeah, 900K is kind of insane for that quick of a turnaround.
That's insane. Keep in mind, Los Ratones didn't get that viewership.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And we just talked about how crazy of an event that was, watching their thing, right? So the fact that Jynxzi, a streamer, and granted, there's 30 other big, giant fucking streamers that took a day off to pull numbers into this, right? Mm-hmm. But doing that at the drop of a hat is like everybody's questioning or sort of, piecing together, Riot just showed how big of a difference it can make to include some content creators, streamers into their professional circuit and what that does to viewership. Yeah. Riot's got declining viewership across the board for all the European stuff. America's even worse than the whole European thing. Could it be possible that Jynxzi could do for American League of Legends what Los Ratones just did for European League of Legends?
I mean, 900K kind of suggests potentially. That's a lot of people.
That just happened last week, by the way. That just happened. I was talking. There are so many moments from that blow my fucking mind. One of the characters in the game is titled Malphite. He's a big rock, and you have to look up a guide for like how to use his abilities, what items to build. Might be my favorite Reddit title ever. Tyler One's teammate Los Pollos couldn't find a Malphite guide because he had misspelled Malphite and instead was searching Milphite the entire tournament.
Nice.
Oh my god, that shit was fun to watch. And keep in mind, everybody sucked. This wasn't even good League of Legends. 90% of the players had never played the game before.
Yeah, so I mean, if you can manage to find some kind of circuit where you're getting really good players in, but you do also have like a popular circuit of players that are just kind of in it for fun, you could have a pretty big scene in America.
And think about how much like ambiguity and I don't know, maybe goes into just the sentence you said. The current reigning example is full-on multi-million-dollar in-house productions, first party with the company, doing 10% of the viewers that these boys put together, just messaging each other on Discord. There was no production. There was no promotion. I mean, some promotion. Riot did at the last minute go, hey, if you watch Jynxzi's tournament, we'll give you a skin in the game. Not to gloss over that, right? A lot of people were probably watching because you watch for 2 hours, you get the skin, you get a loot drop.
Gotcha.
Right? Not to ignore that completely. Virgil Abloh has this quote. You know who Virgil Abloh is?
Yeah.
Fashion designer, passed away, worked with Kanye West while they were both in the House of Louis Vuitton. Interesting autobiography. Some people don't respect him as an artist because they feel like he does the equivalent of just remixing other good ideas. But he's the one who founded Supreme. That was Virgil Abloh's
he
thing,
worked
right?
with West Side Gun. He worked with a lot of Griselda guys. Shout out.
He was a big
Virgil.
guy in Louis Vuitton, right? A lot of stuff by Virgil Abloh. He has a quote, or maybe not so much a quote. He has a thing that he said where he's got like a candle in like an aluminum can, and he goes, "If I put this candle in like a dirty garage, you wouldn't even look at it. It'd be tough to get you to even pay attention to it. But if I put this candle in the middle of a museum as like a modern art piece, exact same candle, people would be bidding $10,000, $100,000 for it." So the way that I think about the work that I do is that I can either make the candle seem like it's worth a lot of money, or I can work on the room around the candle to make it seem like the candle is worth a lot of money. The packaging rather than the product. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
And I feel like that's a lot of what's being echoed in this, is that the product is the exact same thing. The candle is still just League of Legends, the game that you're clicking and watching people play. But the packaging around it being, this all matters, take this seriously, these guys are trying their best, we're putting money into this, you should respect this.
Yeah.
And having conversations around Cadrill's co-streaming being a leech on the production, and that's the big problem with. But then you change the room to, come look at all these guys having fun with this game.
Yeah, it's just immediately more engageable, especially if you don't know the game. I feel like it's kind of hard to watch like a professional tournament and be like, I kind of want to learn about this game. Let me try this.
And League is not intuitive. There are people who play the game who have no idea how to.
You'll probably learn more watching someone fuck up a lot than you will watching someone wordlessly just, professionally do it.
Shockingly, the biggest thing almost seems to be the people who like started playing the game again after a hiatus or installed it for the first time because of Jynxzi's tournament. Because now their entire audience, much like how Los Ratones' entire streaming audience watched them play pro, now there's people like Los Pollos or Moist Critical or whomever that are now doing League of Legends content. They might have played casually, but now it's like fucking a million fucking people probably just watch me on the big stage on Jynxzi's thing. I might actually take a night where I play League. It's not going to be 2,000 people versus my normal 10,000 viewership on Twitch because I never play League and I'm kind of bad at it. Yeah. There's probably hundreds of thousands of people that kind of want to watch me play League now.
Yeah.
You know? Riot could have done that forever.
At least it jump started the market for it. It gave it the demand, because I'm pretty sure like Charlie was definitely a
he casually
League
plays
player.
League anyway.
Yeah.
I've seen him in games randomly. XQC as well. That's why they were their respective team captains, or like every team had to have 3 like bad players and then 1 player who has played for several years but isn't very good. Like there was a rank cap. Basically, if you went above platinum, you couldn't be on a team. You're too good for what we're doing here, sort of thing. Riot could have done this forever. Instead of making barricades for co-streaming and having to go through an application process and only be allowed to co-stream if you're in another country or speak Spanish or a language that isn't the official broadcast, the only reason Cadrill's even allowed to co-stream is because he's so big. Normally, they only let co-streamers co-stream if they speak in a different language, because the official broadcast only does English and Korean. Mm-hmm. But if you're speaking Japanese, Chinese, Spanish, then you get co-streaming rights. Cadrill got it because if they don't give him co-streaming rights and he can't co-stream the games, they're going to lose 300,000 people. He's too big.
Yeah.
In
you
Worlds,
you literally can't afford to lose him.
In Worlds, in the international tournament, Cadrill literally cannot give up streaming because he makes so much money from people subscribing and watching his stream that what Riot does is they invite him to the venue. At the arena where they are playing Worlds, they put Cadrill way up in the rafters so that he can be in the building and he streams from up there. And they pull him to the commentator booth and they interview him just like the pro players and ask his insight. Because if they asked him to come on officially, they'd have to pay him like $400,000 to make up for his lost revenue.
Money.
That's how much
crazy.
of an impact. That's how much of an impact he has on the professional scene, right? Make more of them. Make more Cadrills. Get more streamers into the fucking building. Give them incentives to play the game. Set up small tournaments that streamers can play in. Bring back Twitch Rivals. Do you even know what that is?
Yeah.
Twitch Rivals used to...
I don't know why did that die off? Did COVID kill that?
I don't know if it was COVID or if they still do it, but they don't do streamer.
I remember watching the Twitch Rivals Apex streams, watching Charlie Moist Critical play those, because he was just kind of busted at that game, and watching him play was very fun.
For people at home who don't know, Twitch Rivals is a online tournament held across multiple different games, all hosted by Twitch, the streaming website. And so what they'll do is they'll organize a bunch of big streamers in turn advertising the big streamers to everybody who watches. And they'll host competitions in multiple various video games. And I think they used to do it like every week. And it would be a great, organic, authentic marketing thing to get a bunch of different people to come in and play these games and share their communities and grow everything and get more people exposed to these other streamers. Who the fuck decided to stop doing that? Are you guys high?
Good question.
Maybe I'm sniffing my own farts. Oh, YouTuber thinks YouTube is the greatest thing ever. You seen that meme that's like guy who's only seen Boss Baby watching a second movie?
Getting real Boss Baby vibes from this.
Might feel like that a little bit. But I cannot believe the fact that some of these guys who have video games, organizations, blah, 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 thinking that their money needs to be going anywhere other than organic streamer-led content. If you're making video games, you got to get your shit in front of video gamers, man. The people who watch video games are the ones who play video games. That's where you get the memes that get posted to your Reddit, the funny replies that get posted to your Twitter. People aren't going to buy jerseys for a team just because they're good. You got to have an emotional connection to them.
So it seems like Twitch Rivals is still kind of a thing, but
Really?
it's become a complete shit show, whoever's running it. And so I
In what
guess
way?
a lot of people... Well, like, Twitch Rivals is under fire for mismanaging team requirements for a Marvel Rivals event. It seems like they changed some rules right like 24 hours before the event started.
Oh, the Rivals had a lot of controversy.
Yeah,
I
there was
remember-
one someone saw for Stardew Valley where it was just like a bunch of casual streamers and then one team that was just a bunch of speedrunners, so they just immediately won all the money. It just kind of seems like for the past
remember they had a
couple of years it's
situation-
been a big
They had
old
a
shit
thing
show.
where they had a Fall Guys tournament and you weren't allowed to stream snipe, and I think it was XQC maybe, and basically he grabbed another player, which you're not supposed to be able to tell who's who in Fall Guys because it's just the character. They don't have their names over them. But he grabbed another player that he seemingly knew was another streamer and like kept him from finishing or whatever. And it looked like he must have like looked over at his chat, and his chat was like, "Yo, if you take this guy out, you'll place ahead of him and not get eliminated for this." And then there was this one girl who I think does OnlyFans, and she was in a Fortnite tournament, and they dropped her because she had like a bad dragon dildo on the shelf behind her, and everybody was like, "Yo, we can't like." It's a kid's game, like no shit, like that's a little bit too much or whatever. I think like Fortnite replied to her on Twitter and was like, "Hey, we don't mind you having the decorations on the back shelf as per the email that we sent you. We just want you to take the links to your porn out of your automated chat robot and your lower panels because this is a Fortnite sponsored event.
Yeah.
And we want to feature you in it, but you got to make the changes that we asked out of you." There was a
Trying to
lot of
find the
controversy
story
with
of who it was.
Twitch Rivals Fortnite girl banned for adult. It was Adriana Chechek,
Gotcha.
who is not a OnlyFans streamer. That is a real porn star turned streamer.
That's the real McCoy right there.
Adriana Chechek removed from Twitch Rivals event by Epic Games because of her past as an adult film star. Sorry, she claimed that
she wasn't. She didn't even have anything in the frame. It was just because of her job.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think she was banned because she used to be an adult film star, as she claimed, and then Epic Games responded to her on Twitter and said, "No, it was because you had a dildo on your bookshelf." I'm messing up documents here. I'm sure if I scroll low enough, I will discover.
I was gonna say that'd be a crazy thing to dub somebody for.
Past adult work from her Twitter. She was looking for talent to make adult work with on 31st of July, a week before the tournament. Fair enough that Epic doesn't want one of the most hardcore adult stars to promote their game. She is a fairly big porn star, by the way. I thought she was being honest and did not do it anymore. If she is active, then I have zero issues with it. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's she told Epic Games she's retired, and they were like, "Okay, if you're just a streamer now," but she was instead tweeting that she was looking for guys to have sex with for OnlyFans content like an hour before the tournament went live. That seems to be what it was.
Gotcha. I mean,
when I look up Adriana Chechik on Google, the first link is Pornhub. Literally
guess,
the first page
but
of Google. Here we go.
still
Fortnite
kind
tweet
of a
responding
weird-
to her. I found the tweet. Adriana Chechik tweets, yeah, Epic Games didn't like my background, so next time. This post is from a suspended account. The request to Twitch Rivals was to work with you to remove adult references from your stream's background due to our game's rating. We have no issue with your participation in events or streaming Fortnite. So, sorry. So she states Epic Games didn't like my background, so next time maybe, in response to getting removed. People interpreted background as her background as an adult film star.
Okay.
Fortnite clarifies, we mean your stream's background. Get that bad dragon dildo off your bookshelf. We want you to play Fortnite. That's not what it's about.
That makes a lot more sense.
That's really funny that's what it ended up working out to be, actually.
That is actually pretty funny.
I wish somebody would link me the picture of what is
I
on
want
her
to see what the
background.
background looked like.
I wonder if this is literally a misunderstanding about the word background. It seems like it was. Don't want any kids Googling that name. Use this porn name. Makes perfect sense. She literally has Pornhub and other porn sites linked on the whiteboard behind her in the video.
That's awesome.
Her past
She got
past
the full
question mark
URL written up there.
Look at her whiteboard. It literally says Pornhub and Fansly at the bottom of it. So she needed to wipe the words of the website, which, by the way, don't say the entire website and add the link at the end. Otherwise, that actually messes up the YouTube upload because it's us linking to an adult site. So we're not allowed to do that either.
Oh.
I had a meme with a sponsored video in it, and one of the memes was about how the title of a porn becomes a meme.
Mm-hmm.
It was a video about how captioning on memes has changed over the years, from the 4chan text to the bold impact font to the demotivational posters to the Twitter screenshot, the way that text plus image has progressed over the years. And one of them was giving the image of a porn video where the title is like, girl gets railed by guy in boots, and the tags are #girl, #gets railed, and it was
#boots.
Making fun of how funny it would be to send somebody what looks like a porn screenshot but is in fact an image macro meme with the porn title and the image. This meme I had went so far that not only was the funny sentence the title of the video and the tags of the video and the first line of the description, but it was also the URL. It was
hell yeah.
website.com/funny title of video. And I had to include it because it's like, it's 10 minutes into the video. Look at how funny this complicated I do deep dives on memes.
Yeah.
That's what I do. And my video gets banned, removed.
Oh my God. They brought the ban hammer down?
I left the full URL to an adult website, which it technically was. And it was a sponsored video. I had to send them an email like, boys, I'm so sorry. My video got removed. I'm going to re-upload it, but it's going to get like 500 views. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Anyway, bring back Twitch Rivals. Sponsor more streamers for video games. YouTubers are the most important people in the world, and you can't convince me otherwise.
It's true.
You got any closing thoughts to this, Andrew? What the fuck did we even talk about in this episode?
It was pretty much a play-by-play of that tournament. Honestly, it was honestly, you might make the documentary whenever they go about making that.
I'm sure somebody's
the Los
done it.
Ratones YouTube documentary. There's going to be some clips in there.
What's your go-to order at McDonald's? You got a rotation you go through, or is it always the same thing? Well, first of all, how often are you McDonald'sing? I'm probably at least twice a week sort of guy.
Yeah, I'm probably around. I'm trying to make it less, but currently it's just the 2 cheeseburger meal.
2 cheeseburgers, fries, drink, about $10
and ketchup on there. I ain't fuck with no pickles and onions and mustard on my burger.
I had a big dramatic fight with my mom over only getting dollar menu items when I was a kid. It pissed me off so much to not have a Big Mac or a Filet-O-Fish or whatever. It was always McChickens and shit. Got into fights about that so much. So when I became an adult or started making adult money, I swore off the dollar menu. I was like, this is for poors. I am not a poors.
Not one of them.
I grew up on this. I don't need to eat this anymore.
I worked my way out the mud. I'm
it
out the
didn't
dollar
matter.
menu.
Sometimes I would be hungrier than just a Big Mac, fries, and a drink, and I would order a second Big Mac. My go-to order to McDonald's day in and day out has been a quarter pounder plus a Filet-O-Fish. Or it'll be a double quarter pounder with cheese plus a Big Mac. I don't care. If I'm more hungry, I'm not getting shit off the dollar menu.
You're snagging that Filet-O-Fish? That's a gamble.
I've been that way for 15 years.
That's
The Filet-O-Fish.
actually, you know what? At this point, you might have evolutionarily changed your stomach to be able to handle it. So I think you might be good.
My unironic recent pickups, maybe like in the last year, has been 2 McChickens, 2 McDoubles. I take the bread off the McDouble, so it's not 8 slices of bread, but it's $4 menu chicken. I make 2 McGangbangs.
Big McGangbang, yeah, classic.
Yeah, it's 2 McGangbangs, no fries. Or I'll do like a Big Mac and I'll do like 10-piece nuggets or something. I eat a lot. But my McDonald's rotation has changed so much throughout the years. It used to be Big Mac plus Filet-O-Fish, 2 sandwiches. It used to be double quarter pounder. The double quarter pounder is the only sandwich where I won't get another sandwich. That's enough food that's like, I'll get this and fries. It's a big fucking sandwich, to be fair. It's the biggest thing they got. I used to do 20 nuggets. There was a small point in my life where I did 20 nuggets. I'd get 4 different sauces. I'd do 2 ranches, 1 spicy buffalo, 1 sweet and sour.
Do you remember the Chicken Bacon Clubhouse?
I don't do bacon.
Duh.
But I have also recently I've discovered that the McChicken is fucking great. Love the mayo. It is pretty good. Such a good sandwich.
If you get it like hot and the ratio of all the ingredients is good, then it's good. But if some
crisp against the mayo is magic.
End put too much mayo in there, it's rough. You get the McCum.
As a result, I've tried some of their other chicken things. They don't have a lot of it. The strips are ass. We know what McChicken nuggets taste like, right? Their McCrispy sandwich.
I like the spicy McCrispy.
Just the one with the pickles or whatever. You know, their version of the Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Yeah.
Goated.
Yeah,
I've started getting 2 McCrispies.
I really like the spicy McCrispy quite a bit.
It's pretty good.
I'm a fan.
You put it above
that was in my regular rotation for a while. That was my go-to order was that and 2 single burgers. Or actually it was 2 double cheeseburgers for a while. My ADHD meds over the last 7 months have taken my appetite down quite a bit.
Really?
Oh, dude, yeah. No, I
didn't know it did that.
When was the first time you were on beef? Were you on by season 2?
3 years ago, maybe.
Something like that? Yeah. The last year, I think only the last year, I've lost 80 pounds.
I got to get on ADHD meds.
Yeah, no, it's the appetite shit has been pretty wild.
What is that like? Is it like it doesn't matter at all because you're just not as hungry, so you're still eating till you're full, you're just not as full anymore? Or is there a big, fuck, man, I used to eat so much more. What? Is it frustrating? What is that difference in food
not
like?
really. I haven't found it to be too frustrating. I didn't even really notice it at first. I guess I've just realized that I naturally will just get smaller amounts of things.
You are crazy skinny compared to when I first seen you.
Yeah, no, because you go back to those old episodes of Beef and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, you're in fisheye. Yeah.
Yeah, I was much bigger. Getting back to the gym here soon. Unrelated, but yeah, I don't really know how to describe it. I
imagine it's got to be like Ozempic because that's a lot of weight in a year, bro. It's a lot of weight in a year. I imagine Ozempic people also go through the, holy shit, that's it? Now I'm full? Sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it must be. It's got to be, because I definitely get full faster. I've definitely been surprised a couple of times, and I think that's why I started making my portions smaller, because I was like, I'm getting full way too fast on what I used to eat.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been too frustrating, honestly.
My doc put me on phentamine, which is like a weight loss thing because my insurance doesn't cover Ozempic. I'm actually diabetic, so it's I can't request stuff. And that's like an appetite suppressor, but you can't stay on it forever because it raises your blood rate by heart rate by a lot. So you got to take it in the morning or it'll keep you up at night. and you can't take it forever because after like a month they got to test you again. They only give you 1 month of it at a time. It's like a small pill with blue speckles to it. I had that, and on starting like day 3, I ate nothing for like 24 hours, and I felt fine.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is dangerous because I can have like 1 slice of pizza and be full, and like in that amount of food, I got to work in a veggie. I got to work in some number of calories. I got to remember to drink. Like, this is a scary...
This is too much.
Because if you're 150 pounds, sure, small meals, blah, 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 whatever. But I'm 220 pounds. Like, 1 slice of pizza, like, if I'm not feeling hungry, I'm not going to feel the effect that's going to have on the lack of energy in my body. This is scary. You know what I mean? So I wondered if it was kind of like that for you.
Yeah, not too much. No, honestly, I've really only noticed it in that I just naturally will get myself smaller amounts of things now without, like, I don't too often go overboard unless I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to save this for later, and then I just kind of do that. But
yeah,
overall, hasn't been too crazy. Honestly, I'm trying to get off of smoking vape and Schweed and just get to like gummies if I want to do that, because I want to get switched over to real ADHD meds. The one I'm currently on isn't a stimulant or whatever. It's some kind of, you know, more generic.
It's not actual Ritalin. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not the real deal. But it eased up enough of it and my anxiety to the point where I can actually like hold down a real job for an extended amount of time without bugging out, which was fun to discover at the age of 27.
Buddy, I'm about to discover it at the age of 31. So.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm turning 30 this year, and it's... Anyway, yeah, I want to get on that because there's still some things that I just am not quite... I'm still having trouble with the executive dysfunction, I think is what it's called, which is getting myself to, like, do certain things.
Yeah. I gotta have a talk with my doc and fucking figure out what the old stake in the heart has been this whole time. Did you ever have the spicy McDouble? It was the one that had the crispy jalapeno bits and the white cheddar cheese.
No, I don't know if I did.
That might be the best thing McDonald's has had. Those Sundays they had back in the day were pretty great. And the original chicken selects, I think, are still goated. But aside from those, and the new chicken selects are bad, they had this spicy jalapeno, I think they called it a McDouble, double cheeseburger maybe. And it was normal double cheeseburger patties, but white cheddar cheese instead of the yellow cheese. And crispy, breaded, fried jalapeno bits. And you got these sparks of, like, sour, spicy jalapeno.
That sounds
and this creamy white cheese. I remember eating them at Nova. So that was community college. So, what, 10 years ago? 8 years ago or something at this point? They haven't brought it back since. But that was a monster fucking addition to their lineup. It was like $3.
Yeah. I remember, I mean, as someone who has eaten bacon, the Chicken Bacon Clubhouse back in like 2014, I think, is when I remember getting that because it was junior year of high school.
They still have the chicken bacon something, don't they? They got a McCrispy with bacon.
Yeah, I think so, but the club, it was its own special thing. It was like a Chicken Bacon Ranch Clubhouse or some shit like that, but I remember loving that. But... yeah, I mean, in high school and early college, I would, you know, not ADHD. That's where I initially, like, gained a decent amount of weight, and then COVID is really what kicked it into high gear there. I think I capped out at 290-something.
That's big.
By the time I started losing, that was a couple years into being up here.
How tall are you?
5'11" and something.
It could be worse, yeah, because I'm like 5'8". So even my weight like makes me look big at 200 plus.
Yeah, nah, it definitely could be much worse. My somewhat above average height kept it from being too bad. But I mean, even still, old beef episodes and some pictures from the vlogs and stuff when the guys came up and visited, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, at least you can look back on it. You know what I mean? At least you're looking back on that weight. All right, there's the obligatory podcast random foodstuffs talk. Thank you so much for sticking around for
Filler episode.
The good old filler episode. I think it was relevant a little bit to streaming culture and what have you. It just I write down, talk about Jynxzi Tournament, and it's like, you're not going to appreciate any of this without so much history to what led up to this ultimately sort of interesting thing that happened the other day. But listen.
But I'm here to ask the questions.
This is nobody else is going to do it. If this was going to be a podcast that covered what everybody else was talking about, be honest with me, you'd be watching those podcasts. So this is what we do. Thank you so much for hanging out, Andrew, and thank you so much for making it to the end of this episode. Again, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rate us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify, where I also upload a video form, which I'm still not 100% sure how you watch videos on Spotify, but I'm uploading them there, so do that. Leave a like. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, leave a like. And if you want a bonus full hour of me and Andrew just talking about some of our favorite video games, that's already recorded. That is already uploaded to the Patreon for $5 a month, along with a bunch of other bonus episodes and every future bonus episode. It is what keeps the show going. I thank you guys so much in advance. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you guys next week. Shpee soup.
Goodbye.